Okay, so last lesson of the week, we're going to finish up with adding fractions. So a bit like yesterday's first challenge, this is one that might seem a bit daunting at first. There's half a litre more orange juice than mango juice. Now I know the picture's a little bit tricky, so you might not be able to see down there the fraction, which is 5/6 of a litre. So in this case, we've got 5/6 of a litre of mango juice, and there's half a litre more orange juice than mango juice. So we've still got 5/6 of a litre, but we know there's a half a litre more than that of orange juice. So we're adding 5/6 and a half together. The unit, the whole, is still litres. So 5/6 of a litre, 1/2 of a litre. Don't let the litre part confuse you. We're still talking about fractions. Nothing's changed. So 5/6, easy. 1/2. How can we change 1/2 into 6? Well, let's think about that. 1 whole split into 2 parts. 1 whole split into 6 parts. Well, 3 of those make half. So 1/2 is the same as 3/6. So now we've got our 5/6, we've got our 3/6. The denominators are the same. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Or we could write it as 1 and 2/6. Now, hold the phone. It gets tricky. We simplified it, 1 and 2/6. But actually, we haven't simplified it totally. 2/6 could be simplified down. 2/6 is the same as 1/3. So actually, the simplest way of writing this would be 5/6 plus 3/6 is the same as 1 and 1/3. Okay, here I've got 5/6 plus 1. In fact, that's the one we've just done. Ignore me. Right, here I've got find the sum of 3/5 and 9/10. So lots of questions. Is the denominator the same? That's the first thing we always want to be asking. It's not the same, but I know there are some patterns here. I know 5/5 and 10ths is a relationship. One's double the other. Okay, is either an improper fraction? No, they're both proper. Can either be simplified? Not really. So I've now got to change the denominator of one of them to be the same as the other. I'm going to change my 5ths to my 10ths because doubling is easier than halving. And in this case, I can't halve 9 without getting a decimal. So double my 3/5 so that 5ths become 10ths. So double 3 is 6. So 3/5 is the same as 6/10. 6/10 plus 9/10. So 6 plus 9 is 15. 15/10. You could also write that as 1 and 5/10. 1 and 5/10 I can simplify down even further to 1 and 1/2. Because I know that 5/10 is a half. That's the simplest way of writing it. So in today's lesson, I want you to really think about your answers, particularly the fraction parts of any mixed fractions. Have you expressed it in the simplest way possible? When we talk about simplest, what we really mean is the smallest fraction. Okay. Can you pause this video and try 11/12 plus 1/4? 11/12 plus 1/4. So same as every other time, we know that there's a relationship between 4 and 12, and that relationship is multiplying or dividing by 3. I'm not going to divide my 12ths by 3 because I know that I can't divide 11 by 3 to get a whole number. I know that because I know my times tables. What I can do is multiply 4 by 3 to get 12. So I'd have to multiply this 1 up here by 3 as well. So 1/4 is actually 3/12. 3/12 plus 11/12 is 14/12. Or I could write 14/12 as 1 whole and 2/12. 1 whole and 2/12. Can I simplify 2/12 down? Well, I could halve it and write that as 1/6. So I would be writing 1 whole and 1/6 is the simplest way I can make that fraction work. So in today's task, I want you to really focus on the simplifying part. The adding is the same as we've been looking at yesterday. So worksheet 11, the links are on today's PDF. Once you've finished, can you come back and have a look at the answers? And I'm also going to give you an additional task that I'd like you to complete for me. Brilliant. So here are the answers, and you'll notice that we can simplify them down. So 8/12 becomes 2/3. Some of you might have gone down different routes there. You might have stopped at 4/6, for instance, but actually we know we can halve 4/6 as well into 2/3. With these ones, don't worry if you didn't get the numbers in the right boxes. Sometimes that can just confuse us, their boxes, but as long as you got the right answer. So we're looking for 1 5/10, simplified down to 1 1/2. And then we're looking for 1 4/30, simplified down to 1 2/15. Okay, what I'd like you to do in addition to all of this, on the PDF, you'll see there's a link. The link is to a folder. And I would like you to make for me, it could be a poster or a video showing me what you have learned about fractions so far. So you might be talking about those equivalent fractions. You might be talking about improper and proper fractions. You might be talking about some of the simplifying we've done. You might be talking about the number pairs or the fraction pairs that make a whole or that make another fraction. Or you might be talking about adding fractions. You can, if you also want, you could add in a section about things that you're still finding tricky or that you find confusing. So you can do it as a paper drawn poster and just take a photo and upload the photo. You could do something on PowerPoint or Publisher or Word, or if you want, you can get a whiteboard, get someone to film you, and you can record your own video, probably better quality than the ones I'm doing, and upload that. I don't mind. However, when you upload it, you must make sure it's saved as your name, so I know whose is whose. When you upload the folders, please be extra careful not to mess up anyone else's work, because everyone's going to be uploading their work to the same folder. So particularly if you're someone who's, there's someone else in the class with the same name as you, make sure you put your surname on this so you don't oversave on top of someone else's work. Brilliant. Any questions, then just get your parents and send me a message on Class Dojo. It's the last lesson before half term, so have a lovely half term. And we're going to carry on after half term. We're looking at subtracting fractions. So it'd be really, really useful if during the half term holidays, as well as just keeping your addition, division, multiplication, subtraction ticking along, just practicing that every now and then, you carry on just keeping your adding fractions, just keep it spinning. All that means is doing 2 questions a day. Get someone to give you some fraction additions over breakfast or lunch or dinner. Just keep it spinning over so that when we come back after half term, you're not suddenly going, what's going on? What's happening? If you keep it fresh in your mind, then when we get back from half term, it's going to be really nice and simple to get into subtraction. Brilliant. Have a lovely half term, guys, and I will see you in a week.